Hey guys, it's me again, Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair. And this time we're demonstrating an AM radio out of, I believe it's a 1958 Edsel. I'm not exactly sure of the year. This is a local customer who dropped his radio off in person. And in that kind of case, if they haven't yet filled out a work order, I just fill out a work order real quick, and sometimes I don't include all the details. So this is from an Edsel, I think 58, but not exactly sure. So there's a couple of interesting things about this type of radio. Is the leftmost station preset button actually turns the unit off. To turn the unit on, just press any one of these station preset buttons, and in this manner you can turn it on to your favorite station if you've got it preset. And then another weird thing is that this radio has a tone switch instead of a tone control. The outer shaft was originally a 4-position tone switch, and after the conversion, the way it works now is that during normal operation, the tone switch will be all the way counterclockwise, and that allows you to raise and lower your volume.
And that needs to be completely investigated.
Like that. But then, if you want to change your tone settings or your left-right balance or your front-rear fading action, you have to rotate this outer knob fully clockwise, and then this becomes the tone control, which means it also becomes the left-right balance and front-rear fader control. The good news is that once you've got that stuff set the way you like it, and you turn this back to the volume position, you never have to worry about that again. So let's go ahead and test all the functions. I've got it set to AM at the moment, to the one strong station I receive in my area, so we can demonstrate the balance and fader functions during talk radio and not get nailed for copyright issues. So let's go ahead and turn it up. There's our AM,
that's a way to try to
and we're going to need this stuff.
Of complete failure.
Okay, so I'm gonna activate the virtual. Well, first I'm gonna switch this to the tone setting, the outer knob. So we're gonna rotate it fully clockwise. Okay, now it's on the tone setting, which means that this no longer works as a volume control. So we got to turn it back here. Okay, got a little bit of a weird thing going on here. Try this again.
If it's true that this has happened previously, it seems like there would be...
Okay, now we're going to rotate this to the...
more mindfulness about it happening
now,
again.
now that we can hear it, we're going to...
I don't know if I'm...
Okay, now that we can hear it, we're going to rotate this to the tone position.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that happens nationwide. Look, there are many people
so this control is now a tone control.
There are many people that live in the hurricane zone, and they get
bass,
hurricanes constantly.
Treble. Okay, now we're going to activate the virtual front-rear fader.
Remain in that area, even though
fader adjust.
Okay, so all the way front, all the way rear, front, rear. Okay, I'm going to center
them. In that area, were not warned of the exact threat.
Fader set.
Okay, left-right balance.
At such a high rate and such at a speedy.
Balance adjust.
Okay. All the way left, all the way right, left, right,
and I appreciate your time today. I wasn't implying victims at fault here or victim blame.
Balance set.
Okay.
From an emergency
now we can turn our. Okay, now we can turn this.
I should think people would understand.
Outer now back to the volume position.
This happened before. Here's what could happen again, and there would be a plan in place to warn.
And it's once again the volume control. Okay, now we're going to move over to FM, which on this radio we do by turning it off, then right back on within about half a second. We don't need this stuff anymore. And of course, it's kind of tricky because it's not a typical on-off switch that's on the volume control. The off switch is the leftmost tuning button. So to go to FM,
it's unfathomable. So
we have to turn it off, then right back on within about half a second. So here we go.
Help right now. If people are interested in helping,
off, on.
All of this.
Okay, now we're on FM. And I have all the presets set to stations in my area for a quick test.
In other words, the marriage supper, which is going to...
And really a culmination of...
Just another way of expressing...
Okay, let's make sure the dial light comes on and off, which you can see that it does. And so she's ready to go. And to finally turn it off, we just press this leftmost button. And if the radio's left off for more than a few seconds, in other words, if you park your car and then come back out, and you turn your radio back on, it'll still be on the same band you were listening to. If you were previously listening to AM, it'll stay on AM. If you were listening to FM, it'll stay on FM when you turn it back on. It's only when you turn it off, then right back on, that it'll switch between AM and FM. And so I understand this is a real pain in the butt to work with, but that's what we've got to work with, is the tone switch instead of a tone control. So I've got it set back to the volume position so that the customer can just adjust the volume, and then he can spend a little time with the complicated manual to learn how to use the other functions. So at any rate, she's ready to go back to the customer, and this is actually for John, right here in Prescott, Arizona. He lives about maybe 10 minutes away from me, so he'll be coming to pick this radio up in person. So I'm Barry with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair. To reach me for service, please visit the website that's in the description below, and from the home page of that website, about halfway down, there's a link to download my work order, which has all my options, prices, including options for turn times. And so please, if you're serious about sending your radio in for service, please download and print the work order before calling me with a bunch of questions about my options, prices, and turn times, because that's all in the work order, and it'll answer those questions as you're filling it out. And that way, if you need to call me, even if it's just to get to know me and trust me, that's perfectly fine. But please do that research before calling me, so that I'm not answering the same questions over and over and over from each new customer. So thanks so much for watching, listening, and thank you to John for your local business, and we'll see you guys next time.